Legitimately got cut off filming, so this part 2. We're carrying on. Okay, video of trust. Oh, and I moved my bow. So we just found out that Archie goes to the strip club every day at 5. Okay, so we don't know if this information is true unless we heard it from a trusted source or we receive proof. Say we are driving down the road at 5 p.m. at the strip club and there's Archie's jalopy in the parking lot. Jalopy? Archie's jalopy? So it automatically reinforces the information, and every time we drive by the parking lot at 5 p.m. and his car is there, it builds a pattern. Every day at 5 p.m. that I've driven by, the car is there. So this reinforces the information that he is at strip club every day at 5. So based on seeing the pattern, it becomes predictability. What if one day the car isn't there at 5? This creates an interruption in pattern and information. This is like receiving a liar and inconsistent action based on something from somebody you know. And you're going to have to, in order to undo what damage that does, you're going to have to see the initial pattern repeat itself over again so that you can restart it and see that that's not how it always continues. It's just how it continued that one time. This is actually why damaged people have a hard time trusting. It can seem agitating to new people entering their lives, but you have to understand, even if you do everything correctly, they're going to have to see these patterns of trustworthy behavior repeat themselves a lot further and a lot more often than your normal person, because they've seen, well, usually along this normal pattern of behavior, I see this discrepancy, this discrepancy, this discrepancy based on the lies they've been told or whatever. So they're going to have to see that this period of time exists with no discrepancies, and then they're going to feel more comfortable moving forward with that. And they'll obtain a balance. So the more people you establish with trust becomes an important part of information reinforcement, and it makes trust a lot easier to come by because you know someone doesn't lie and has relevant information. Instead of seeing physical proof for the information to build these patterns, oftentimes somebody that you already trust can vouch for that, because then you know they've seen the patterns and they're basing their trust on this information and you have the trust in them. So then it makes finding patterns and evidence a lot quicker and easier. And so the more people you have around you that you trust, the quicker you can build trust, the quicker you can feel more secure in your environment. Nurturing trust between people comes with time and experience. You have to be exposed to their actions and their reactions and their thoughts and their preferences in order to form a pattern of who they are. This is actually the key to healthy interpersonal relationships. You can't expect people to have trust with the information you provide without going through the pattern establishment. It's irrational. And if somebody isn't trusting you, you have to understand that that is actually not personal. That's because all they've experienced is discrepancies and patterns. So it's actually an anomaly for them to see a consistent pattern. So you have to work through that with them and understand that that is just based on their past and not based on who they feel you are as a person. And if you struggle with issues trusting people, ask them questions, spend a lot more time with them, get to know them better, and ask them for patience if you feel that is pertinent, because you have to have time to be exposed to their actions and reactions to things in order to trust. And ultimately, that is the goal if you want any kind of flourishing friendship or relationship. So, say for instance, a good example of this is we can go back to Archie at the strip club. If you drive by there every day for a month and it's always there, you have 30 examples of, yes, Archie's vehicle is always there at 5 p.m. I've never missed a 5 p.m. I can say 30 out of 30, yes. That's the pattern. While if you only go every other day, you can feel fairly certain that every other day it's still there, but you can't know for sure because you didn't have anything to reinforce that information. And trust is something that, if broken, you can gain it back with the time and energy and patience. I felt that I would never trust people again after some of my own life situations, but as long as you understand what it's composed of, ultimately it can be gained back with the right amount of effort and consistency. Whether it's new trust or old broken trust, it can be gained back, but the more patterns have fluctuated, the more repetition and time it's going to take to help reinforce these new patterns, and comfortability to balance the trust. And also, I should note, the younger a person is when this is happening, the easier it is to reestablish these learned connections. The older the person is, the harder it's going to be. And like I said, you know, the amount of time exposed and how many pattern discrepancies they've experienced. So if you have any thoughts, questions, ideas, feel free to let me know. I hope this video helped you understand the breakdown of trust a little bit better. I know having to think about it helped me, and that's why I love doing this, is because you guys give me ideas and I'm forced to think about it and bring it to the forefront of my mind, and typically it's not for nothing. So check out my YouTube for more videos. Any feedback or topic ideas are greatly appreciated. Coming up here, I will be doing one on forgiveness or revenge. So I look forward to that topic. And as always, thank you for the support. You all rock, and I hope you have a great night.